Hey, everybody, how's it going? So, I'm attorney Michael Leline. I am a California and Texas attorney. I've got a couple of my friends here today joining me. I've got BZ Watchdog and I've got Let's OTVO joining me. I do hear a little bit of feedback, so I'm going to ask that BZ Watchdog and Let's OTVO go ahead and mute their mics for now, if that's a possibility. Is that a little better? Okay, no more feedback. Okay, out freaking standing.
It's because he had two
Hoorah. So I've got a lot of information I want to share with you. So BZ Watchdog did a bunch of research for us, and I got this slide that I want to share with you. All right, outstanding. Stand by. Phone's blowing up as usual. So everybody, I want you to understand something. I've got really no skin in the game. I'm just a guy who grew up fighting traffic tickets and ended up joining the Marines, and I support the Constitution. And as a result, I became friends with Chille. I've known the guy for a long time, and I wrote him a letter of recommendation to help him with his appeal. And BZ Watchdog did a bunch of research, and I want to go ahead and share this information with you and give you an opportunity to sort of see what he's found. There's going to be a hearing on Monday morning in Nevada, which I will attend. I just now saw the brief, the appellate brief / motion for the appeal. And because I'm a lawyer and as an officer of the court, I can't really say things negative about courts or judges because I could risk losing my law license. So I'm going to let BZ Watchdog and I'm going to let Let's OTVO talk about any injustices that they feel. And I'm going to go ahead and just share this slideshow with you. And if you feel like I'm talking too much or whatever, let me know, because I'm not a YouTube guy. I'm a lawyer. I do appellate law, and I do personal injury, and I do a lot of civil rights work. But I'm not an actor or a professional YouTuber. It's not what I do for a living. It's just that when I see injustice, I feel like I should probably talk about it. So let's go ahead here and just take a look. BZ Watchdog, please go ahead and introduce yourself again for the audience.
Okay, guys, BZ Watchdog here. Been doing this for some time, not very long, but Chille's actually the one who got me motivated to get out there and start filming the police and doing audits, and just kept encouraging myself to do what I'm doing. And now I'm kind of pissed off with this injustice of what's happened to him. And I mean, I'm from Vegas, so I understand. So I dug into Ann Zimmerman because I know a lot about the corruption that goes on in those courts, and I think he got hung out to dry.
So you used to live in Nevada, right?
Yeah, I graduated in '97 from Clark High School on the west side of town, and
no way.
Got recruited out of there and joined the Marine Corps, and now I'm in the Lone Star State. And I don't know what's worse, police-wise and corruption-wise.
Well, there's a lot of people headed to the Lone Star State. Too bad that Texas has such crazy property tax laws, because I would imagine half of California would be there already. But that's another conversation for another day.
That's next.
All I know is that you were a Force Reconnaissance Marine. So automatically that tells me that you're a brother at a high level. So really quick, guys, BZ Watchdog, I just want all you all to know about his channel. So BZ Watchdog, he is what I consider to be more of a passive editor. He's one of these guys who will like catch these guys planting drugs on people or planting a throwdown weapon, because he sort of stays in the rear with the gear, with his, with his sniper scope and all that, keeping an eye out for you guys as a watchdog. Remember, there's sheep and there's sheepdogs, and he's sort of a sheepdog. And so BZ Watchdog is a little bit different than Chille. Chille's more of an active auditor, where he gets in their face and he's like, hey, what's going on over here? And the cops don't like it. And so we've learned a lot over the last couple of weeks through these video podcasts. And then we have Let's OTVO, who's a really good friend of Chille. And so we've got guys who have a little bit of skin in the game, whereas I really don't. And so I'm really glad to have them on. And so BZWatchdog did all this really cool research for us. And I just want to share it with you. And so BZWatchdog, I'm going to let you narrate this, and I'm just going to do the slides. If you want me to go backwards or forwards or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's
and
fine.
then every couple seconds, I'm going to go back and look in the sidebar because I want to make sure I can answer any questions. So this is slide 1. BZWatchdog lays out as evidence of political bias and fitness to serve on the bench in Nevada. All right. So go ahead and you can narrate or whatever you want to do here, brother. Let me just get this off.
Go to the next slide.
So you don't want to see this one? Judge Zimmerman did not want to be on Chille's YouTube.
Okay.
You see that one?
It on this on backstage. So let me give my opinion about this crap on the to the audience here. For those who watch, here I got to take this off because this right here is going to get good.
No, dude, that boonie cover is sick, man. That was like Gunny Highway. I was going to do some push-ups.
My brain's about to explode. I got to get this stuff off my chest and out of my head. First off, anybody who's watched A Few Good Men, everybody has heard Chille reference about, you want me on that wall, you need me on that wall, and he's out there doing the things that he does. Now, Judge Zimmerman, when she was sitting there handing out his sentence and giving him the mommy to son lecture, is what I like to call it, about not wanting to be on his YouTube channel and all this stuff, then why did she poke fun at him and go, you wanted to interfere in that traffic stop, you wanted to get arrested? I mean, she was really poking the bear at Chille after she said that. Now, somebody who hasn't watched Chille or has a distaste for him, how does she know what he says on his YouTube channel? She's obviously had a bias from the minute he stepped foot in her courtroom.
I'm hoping we can get Let's OTVO off mute so he can tell us what he thinks. There we go. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Everybody, this is Let's OTVO. He's a 4-year Navy vet, so we're not just an all Marine Corps thing here.
I'm putting on my political cap.
Yeah. I want you all to listen to this guy because I really have a lot of respect for him. He's willing to fly out as a character witness like 1,000 miles away just to support Chille. So that just tells you a little bit about his character. Go ahead, man. Talk. Do it now. Move. You're still on mute, brother. Let's OTVO. You're on mute. I see your lips moving, but I have no sound. All right, no sound. You got to take yourself off mute, brother. Nothing. So anyone, put it in the comments if you can hear Let's OTVO. If you can't, all of our comms are live for him.
Yeah, there's no sound coming from him. I see his lips moving, but there's no sound.
Yeah, and I see that he's removed himself from mute a few times, so it's probably he needs to go to settings on his computer and just take a look. If you can't, it's all good. I'll just tell you, I'll speak for him. Let's OTVO is a 4-year Navy vet, which I think anybody who made it through boot camp can claim they were a vet. I don't have any problems with that. And 4 years in the Navy back in the day when things were different, I have a lot of respect for this guy. The fact that he's showing up for Chille, and then I got a Force Reconnaissance Marine. Also, I'm super happy. But basically, Let's OTVO supports Chille. Everybody knows that Chille's confrontational and he's upset. He's like a white guy who's willing to get crazy, and I kind of appreciate that myself.
But Michael, he's not violent though, man. And what's crazy is if you ever seen the traffic stop where he was pulled over on Thanksgiving going back to California, those cops detained him and threw him in handcuffs because Ohio had actually put a little thing underneath there that said he had violent tendencies. Now, if anybody's actually watched the video of Chille getting arrested in Ohio, they didn't even put him in cuffs. He said, hey, I'm willing to walk. I've got my car. I'll walk. I'm not going to fight you. There's 7 of you here. I'm not going to resist. And that was the chief of police, the sergeant, Chief Wagner and everything. They said, okay, fine, walk. And he walked. So I don't know where they get off saying when they didn't even put him in cuffs to arrest him that he has violent tendencies unless they were just trying to cause him some grief if he got stopped somewhere else. Again, it's again just to show you guys. Anytime you get stopped by the police, they do document you in a database.
Yeah, it's called a contact. That's why you couldn't get a concealed carry in California. If you had a contact, that would give the law enforcement, aka the deep state, the ability to deny you the ability to carry a weapon to defend your family. Yeah. Keep talking, man. I want to hear what you have to say, bro.
Well, just based on her being a media hound, I'm looking at the, not wanting to be on Chille's YouTube, but she's obviously loves the fact that all her cases are filmed because she permits the Nevada courts to film her for publicity. And then, she's obviously on the news, but yet she uses her picture from 30 years ago because, she has to fool everybody that that she's actually a sweet person and when she's really an alcoholic. Look at her face in the courtroom. It's red, no makeup.
Okay, look, brother, I got to tell you something. Unless you've got evidence that she's an alcoholic or whatever, I'm still an officer of the court. You know what I mean? Like
skin isn't red for no reason. But anyways, let's go past that.
All right, got you.
Where you at?
So look at the screen here. So I went to slide 2. Now,
Judge Ann Zimmerman. Now we've heard, and I like how you have allegedly up there. Divorce from a Las Vegas assistant sheriff, Brett Zimmerman. That I haven't been able to confirm. That's something I am looking into. But as far as him being married to a DA, that is absolutely correct. His name is Robert Langford, Esquire. He's a prosecuting attorney right there in the court system. So,
hold on a minute. That's confusing to me because I read that he defends Nevada judges when they get complaints filed against them.
But that's the
that doesn't make any sense to me. How wouldn't that be a conflict of interest? I don't know. I'm confused. Is that really true?
Yeah, it really is true, and it is a conflict of interest. In fact, do you have that document I sent you where he actually, on her behalf, motioned to have her judicial complaint for misconduct removed?
I probably do. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Please forgive me, audience and Chille and everyone else. Like, guys, I'm trying to run a business, and a buddy of mine got thrown in jail, so that's why I'm doing this. I don't plan on returning after he gets out.
If I resend it to you so you have it, are you able to put it up on the screen?
Stand by. I'm taking a look here. Let's OTVO is trying to join us again. Yeah, if you can send me the link.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. But can Let's OTVO? Can you guys hear each other?
I can hear him now.
Okay, because last time there were. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had to get out of StreamYard and StreamYard. I'm kind of a busy guy. The phone rang and it went to my tablet, and when I dismissed the call, then I couldn't hear anybody and I couldn't be heard. I apologize for that.
Copy that. So really quick, just to give you a little rundown, Let's OTVO. So he's saying that he has a link to a website that he wants to email me. He may have sent it to me, but I'm actually working on a brief right now. So I'm going to be honest with everybody. Like, this is really hard for me to do this. But I don't see anybody getting accurate information. So if you want recon BZ, go ahead and email it to me. I'll put a full screen so I can check through my emails, and I'll put it up on the screen for y'all. All right. But in the interim, while you're doing that, you can explain what's on the screen. So Let's OTVO. BZWatchdog created this amazing slideshow for us, and he is basically saying that Judge Zimmerman is apparently she may be divorced from a former or current assistant sheriff by the name of Brett Zimmerman. But I looked at images of him. He looked really young. So like if she married this really young sheriff. But then I looked at her images, and they look like images of her left from like 30 years ago. So I'm totally confused. Like, there's no current images. Go ahead, guys. Talk to me. I don't want to take over. Go ahead.
Well, Mike, I sent both those documents. The one that that Robert Langford motion, and then
Yes,
the
sir.
other attorney a year later that also tried to appeal a motion to dismiss her other judicial misconduct complaint. So there's been at least 2 judicial misconduct complaints on her, and this is
Oh, no kidding.
15 and 16.
Okay.
And one of them
Well,
is
I'm gonna try to find them.
check your
But
spam.
if you guys can just talk about what's on the screen now, like we
Yeah.
see. So the other day, one of the dark green guys on the chat said, "Oh, well, she's clearly a Republican," but
No, she's
which
not.
makes sense because we know that we know the guy from Texas is sending all the illegals up to the blue states, which is going to help them get more representatives through the census. So who do we trust, right? But we do know for sure that apparently Zimmerman, Langford, just talk about that. Like you can see that down on the screen. Where does she donate her money to? So you can get an idea of her political background. And I'm going to try to get these other documents opened up for you.
It's highly possible that she might be a Democrat from the waist up and Republican from the waist down.
Right. Kind of like Trump, right? Like he basically was a Democrat until he wasn't a Democrat anymore, right?
Right. I mean, if you've got individuals that are trying to increase the power of the state police state and giving them more immunity for their demonic actions against the citizenry, then that may be the way she leans. Maybe.
So, guys, I was able to open these docs up. So I got the answer. Okay, so just real quick, BZ.
Yeah,
I got the answer, brother. The one. Hold on. So both docs that you sent me through this email were answers. So they're in the slideshow that you sent me. So let's just keep going. All right, guys?
Okay.
Because I don't want to bore these people. All right. So we see that Judge Ann Zimmerman, she's a typical leftist Democrat judge based upon the evidence before us, unless somebody can tell us otherwise. She doesn't like Chille, who supports the Second Amendment. And a lot of people have been saying that may be one of the reasons, that she wants to do the psychological examination, because we know that the government is trying to confiscate firearms of veterans in particular, or anyone else who might have a alleged psychological problem. So let's just go along. So go ahead, BZ, tell us a little bit about this. So it says that she's a judge. Her term ends January 6th, 2025.
That is correct.
All right. Tell me more about this and why this was important to the slideshow.
Well, because if you look at this, the judges get to be reelected for 6 years, not like your typical 2-year or 4-year terms that we see with state and federal elections. So judges get a longer term. With this, if we had a chance to actually have someone run against her and get her out of office, our deadline would have been January 4th. So we lost that term. So now we are going to have to wait to see who she's running against and who's going to win. And if we're stuck with her again, we'll be stuck with her for 6 more years unless she is found to be full of misconduct and thrown off the bench. And depending on the way that Chille's case gets appealed, if he wins the appeal, we can go ahead and file for a motion for another judicial misconduct complaint for abuse of power. Now, the only reason she won this last 6 years is because when she ran in 2018, the general election was canceled. And based on that, I was talking to Mike, and he says that the only way that he would cancel an election, since it wasn't during COVID, because COVID obviously happened during 2020, that there was probably nobody that was brave enough to run against her.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. But again, guys, forgive me again. I'm a California guy and a Texas guy. I just I like Nevada because it's a pro-parent state, unlike California. So that's why I'm here. But I'm not really sure what the rules are. Put it in the comments if you know what the rules are. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, brother. Go keep talking.
But why would they cancel an election? I mean, I've never seen that ever happen.
I've never seen that ever happen either, but I'm not crazy enough to try to put myself in the shoes of Nevada. Yeah. I just know that it's a pro-parent state and that they don't force parents to inject their children. So it's a great place to live if you believe in parental rights.
Hey,
But other than that, yeah.
Now Scrubzilla, I see a comment up there, and they said they were leaving. Said, why was my comment removed? I set up a petition to get rid of Ann Zimmerman. If anyone cares, it's on my channel. I'm leaving now. So
I don't know of anybody on this channel who put up a petition to get rid of Ann Zimmerman. I don't even know if you should try to get rid of her. I'll be honest with you, BZ. I've looked at the evidence you've sent me.
she'll probably hang her.
And I'm just telling you, like me, like if I was a fair and impartial judge, I would not be able to convict her. I get it that a lot of people are saying that she is a media hound, right? They're saying that but isn't anyone in this world? I mean, the whole point of Ayn Rand was to point out that self-interest is what propels everyone. I mean, if you're not looking after yourself, how are you going to take care of other people? That was the whole point of laissez-faire capitalism, is that, you know, the only way you're going to look after other people is if you're squared away yourself. And that's what the Marine Corps teaches too.
It's
And we can see, yes, brother, that's right. Yeah. So like, honestly, like me, my wife says, hey, you need to get your eyes squared away. You got to get to the doctor, right? I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but that's going to cost like a $600 deductible. Like that's money that I could use to buy my kids things, you know, so I'm not going to do it. Sorry, guys. Like, thanks, Obama, for destroying the healthcare system. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to get political because before I could have gotten it handled for a lot less. But let's just go ahead here.
Be a whore. I mean, Judge Zimmerman.
Yeah, right. Let's get back to reality here, because nothing I can do is going to change what we're facing.
Here's where I found an article where another conflict of interest, high-profile case, where she basically, again, wanted to be in the media. It says, judge singled out Henry Ruggs DUI case. It's not attorney alleges. She actually did it. All these DUI cases were getting reassigned, but yet this is the one that she wanted to retain. Zimmerman asked to continue presiding over Raiders star Rugg case. Okay, now why would you want a DUI high-profile Raiders star Ruggs case if you didn't want to be a media whore? This is the only DUI case you retain after routine restart, like I was saying, according to court filings. Basically, this guy was doing in excess of 120 miles an hour, drunk driving, and killed a lady. I think killed a lady and her dog. I'm sorry, unalived. I'm sorry, unalived.
Yeah. I'll try to edit that out. Hopefully, I don't get banned. But
sorry.
The thought police aren't going to like that.
Yeah. So I mean, he somebody got unalived basically in this DUI accident, and Judge Zimmerman basically took over this case. As far as I know, I don't think there's any outcome on it yet. I still think he's pending trial.
Really?
I believe so. I'd have
Holy
to
crap!
Go back and do some homework.
Hey, put it in the comments, anyone, if you know about the Henry Ruggs case. Keep talking, brother.
Oh, the other case, the other one that you get ready to go on the slideshow is going to be a bombshell for everybody that doesn't know that she is a hardcore liberal Democrat. But going to the next, let's say another media high profile case that she wanted to use her influence of power, political power to help save somebody who did way worse than Chille did, but got a lot less than what Chille got in her courtroom.
Wait. So wait a minute. So it's your position that a mass murderer.
I don't think we can say that either.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody who unalived a lot of people. Thanks, dude. Oh, you got me. I'll do some push-ups later, Lance Cooley. I think you outrank me. So your position is that that his case is more egregious than Chille's, but yet he's going to get less time.
I'm talking about Ruggs. I'm talking about
Ruggs. Yeah, Ruggs. Yeah, I got you.
This one here, I think he's still pending.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the cross-dressing one we're about to see.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, let me go through. Okay, copy that. Okay, here I go. Sorry, guys, brain fart. Here we go. So this is the guy who has a mustache, who likes to wear dresses and steal things. Clearly mentally ill guy. That guy. Which one? The guy on the left or the right? Which one of the mentally ill men are you talking about?
Okay, you see the beard with the red dress with the bald
Oh yeah,
head.
that one. The other guy. Yeah, to the left of the other mentally ill guy. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, now check this out. So this is the history. This is the case on this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
He was a ex-Biden. Yeah, there you go. Ex-Biden energy official. This guy was caught stealing luggage at the airport. Okay?
What?
Caught stealing.
Wait. This is a Biden administration official?
Yes, an ex-Biden. He was already out of office or whatever from his job when this happened.
Okay. So he was not employed by the federal government when he did this?
That's correct. Okay. However, the guy had a victim and he stole property. Okay? Now, Chille, no victim, no crime, he didn't steal anything. Chille got 180 days. This guy could have faced up to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. And I think he ended up with what was the sentence? 90 days on the. I don't even think he got 90 days. I think he got.
Let's take a look. Wait, hold on. What does it say here? So it looked like he was facing 10 years. You know what, man? I may not.
Hold on. Let me pick it up real quick. Hold on.
Yeah. Pull it up for us, guys. So basically, what BZ is saying is that the bald-headed dude with the mustache who likes to associate with children and steal luggage got this really low sentence from Zimmerman, who apparently donates money to the same political party, based down here that this person belongs to.
Right here, guy. I got it.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, man.
So this was April 14th, 2023. It was a Fox News report. And then you look at all these other news outlets, they all say the same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Clark County Judge Ann Zimmerman then handed Britton a 180-day suspended jail sentence, a sentence that doesn't need to be served in order Britton to stay out of trouble. Zimmerman also determined Britton was guilty of theft of an item with the value less than $1,200. And he was set to pay $5,600 in fines, but did not do any jail time and needed to stay out of trouble for that sentence. Now, wasn't that what the DA was kind of pressing for Chille to kind of have, was a 90-day suspended sentence, $500 fine, and stay out of trouble, and like a little anger management course or class or whatever it was. And then the judge turns around after this last year and slaps Chille with 180 days.
Well,
what does Let's OTVO have to say about this?
Well, I've been back here just trying to keep an eye on the chats. I may have removed somebody inadvertently. I'm trying to operate with my tablet and my phone, but basically, I was in the courtroom. I got to see all the little idiosyncrasies that weren't captured by the court authorized camera in the courtroom. When you see the bailiff talking with the eye contact and the smirks and the innuendos and the back and forth between the judge's assistant and the court reporter and the DA and the assistant district attorney, I was privy to parts of conversations involving a statement to the effect that, well, I hope he's on his good behavior today because I have no problem pulling the panic button. So there was also a lot of inmates that were there for their first court appearance or their second court appearance. And the judge heard one or two of those individuals. And then she called Chille up, and he had his phone in his hand, as you could all see on the phone. And she asked him to turn it off, and he declared that he was trying to make contact with his attorney. And she said, well, we'll wait for your attorney to show up, and we'll hear it then. And then she's proceeded with the rest of her docket for the people that were in chains. Well, I didn't really think about it much at the time, but I truly believe that that she wanted to hear Chille's case earlier because she had already made up her mind that what she was going to do. And she was trying to save that jailhouse person a ride back to pick him up. So that way he could go back with all the other prisoners. Now, this is just contention on my part. Call it intuition, but that's my feelings on it. And now I've been away from my phone for a little bit, so I don't know how many of these trolls have decided to jump up. And I can't sum it up any better than Brian has summed it up. If you've got that dark enough heart to feel that whatever Chille did, whatever language he used, however he may have made somebody's feelings hurt, you take that and you put it upon yourself to feel that that person deserves 180 days in jail, then there's no hope for you. There's just no hope for you.
All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. And I'm really grateful that I have you here because there's plenty of lawyers who can say whatever they want to say. But at the end of the day, you two guys would be the ones on my jury. And you're the ones that I have to convince. And
well, even Mike,
I'm glad that in Nevada, there's a bunch of guys like us. Nevada's filled with military vets. And my gut instinct is if we knew what happened to Chille, we probably would make sure that we elected someone else to take that seat. But what do you guys have to say? Because what I have to think doesn't really matter.
Mike, as a juror, I mean, you're supposed to be looking at facts, and that's the one thing that Judge Zimmerman didn't do. She let those female, no offense to females in the chat, but she let those female feelings get to her because it's her courtroom. I'm just curious. Does she treat her husband this badly? Because if she does, I feel bad for the poor man.
Well, look, look, guys, I got to stop you. Okay, look, I got a wife, and we just, please. And also, I don't want to have problems with any bar or anything like that. The bottom line is, women are hyper intense, man. They're super smart, and they're like, my wife is on it, and they have a completely different outlook than men, the way they think. So as a man, you'll never know how they think, and you shouldn't even want to try to understand how they think, because it's a gift from our Creator that we have them to be able to help us have children. Because at the end of the day, of all you guys who've ever had kids, I don't even have to tell you this, but you ones who didn't, man, make a good faith effort to try to have some, because there's no bigger blessing than to be able to procreate and have children with a woman you care about. So beyond that, let's get into the verified complaint, BZWatchdog, because we have about 20 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let's talk about the verified complaint. So there was. So I just want everybody to know. So BZWatchdog did some amazing research, and he found like the judicial complaints because he cares about Chille, and this guy went the extra mile to try to help him, like any good lawyer would. I'm sure none of his other lawyers did as much research as BZO did without charging him a dime. It's amazing how much a license can get you. But look, I just want everybody to know really quick, BZO did this amazing research, and he got the verified complaint where the Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline went after her. And I'll just lay the foundation really fast without me blowing anybody out, that apparently Judge Zimmerman went ahead and let a case proceed without the lawyer present, or without the client present, that involved apparently a warrant. So I'm
without notifying them too that the case was proceeding.
Like they were going to quash a warrant. So because I'm a California and Texas guy, it might be different. But so like where I come from, it would be more like a sort of like a protective order, like a motion for a protective order, right? And then if the judge didn't allow me to be present and then ruled against me, then that would be a problem. So I'm assuming that like that's the same thing as an arrest warrant, because that's kind of what happened in in Nevada. So she took this case where she knew, well, I put it up here on the screen, and then I'm going to let him take over, but I just want to lay the foundation. Apparently, she went ahead and let a case proceed without the victim, who wanted the warrant to stay in place so this person could get arrested. And she just went ahead and let the proceeding go forward. And apparently the basis of the Commission on Judicial Performance, or whatever they call it in Nevada, decided that that it wasn't a problem and let her off the hook. And so I don't know enough about it to make an opinion, but BZWatchdog was a Nevada citizen. So I feel like he's in a better position to talk about it. So I'll go back to the first slide for you, brother. That's the thing you sent me. That was a handwritten letter, I guess, notice from the victim. They were upset, apparently, that they were never told about the hearing where this person who was apparently a threat to them got the warrant quashed. And apparently this person had hired several attorneys. So they came, like 3 or 4 different lawyers showed up, and eventually let it go. So go ahead, brother, talk.
Okay, so a lot of this, the reason a lot of this got squashed, because it was delayed for so long by the courts, that they've actually basically, I'm sorry guys, I'm putting my charger up here. The reason that she got off the hook both times is because the appeals court, or the people that are supposed to be looking at this motion and granted it for, are claiming that the other side took too long to file the complaint, and that's how she got off the hook. I think there's like a 2-year or 3-year from the time that this happens that you have to file this complaint in. Well, it's kind of hard to file a complaint if you don't even know that, the proceeding went on without you. So, I mean, if she's acting this way on 2 separate occasions and has had lawyers been able to file against her, how many other times that we don't know about has there been some injustice to this effect where she's done these types of misconduct in her courtroom?
But hold on a minute. Didn't you send me an email earlier that her new husband is the one who defends these complaints?
No, her husband actually defended the first one.
Okay.
If they saw that this was a conflict of interest and allowed a year later when the other one was done, for another attorney to get involved, so it wouldn't be a conflict.
Okay. So he recused himself from hearing any this other one.
Well, he did the one in 2015 where the motion to dismiss, he did that one. And then a year later in 2016, another attorney, and I'm trying to look that up real quick. I just thought, so that way I can put the attorney's name out there real quick.
I just need to get the timeline down. So her new husband, Langford,
yeah,
he's the one who defends judges against people who complain against judges, right?
Yeah, he did this one. He did this one.
But he didn't do her case. He just works for the same people who defend them.
Well, no,
right?
he did this. Robert Langford, he did the one for Ann Zimmerman. Okay. And then a year later, no, not even a year later, because this was on September 3rd of 2015.
Okay.
That he did this one. And then another attorney did the same thing, motioning for a different one to before the Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline. This is another one, respondent's motion to dismiss formal charges, filed by a Daniel J. Algebritz on May 23rd, 2016. So in a 6-month period, there were 2 different attorneys on behalf of Judge Zimmerman that motioned to dismiss formal charges and judicial complaints against her by 2 different clients. Okay, one originally took place in 2010. The other one took place in 2013. The reason they both got squashed is because of the time elapsed to get these motions filed and be heard. They went past the deadline. Now, as far as you're saying on the other one, what I think I know where you're going with that one. I don't know if you have it on the next slide or whatnot.
Let's take a look.
There is a link where there's other judicial issues going on in the same courthouse where her husband has defended somebody, one of the judges, because Ann Zimmerman basically was trying to make comments in defense of these other judges' misconduct
Oh,
in
okay.
the courthouse.
Okay. So I don't want to get too far off the beaten path, though, bro, because we
Yeah.
can do, the story's got legs, but based on the evidence that you've sent me, I haven't found anything that makes her look like she was biased from previous cases that could have affected his case. Of course, other than the fact that she's supporting blue candidates, which, we already know that, in my opinion, that the blue candidates are trying to sort of disintegrate the First Amendment.
Well,
and I think that that's clearly illustrated by the recent comments of the latest
go
Supreme
there,
Court
Mike.
justice. But go ahead, brother. I want you to talk, because
Her
nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Go ahead, man. You're the jury, not me. You're the jury, not me.
Her political party and the way she's filing, and I don't know why, if that's just trying to look like she's in the middle of the road. But she's,
like Trump did.
yeah, she lists herself as a nonpartisan, but if you notice, she's favoring the blue side with defendants, but yet somebody like Chille, who is down the middle of the road, she's giving a way harsher sentence to somebody. I mean, look, man, you got a cross-dressing guy who's stealing luggage at the airport, and it's not his first time. He's got multiple charges and stuff doing the same exact thing. But yet you got Chille, who spoke out against the cop and complied on camera and never broke a law, and got a way harsher sentence than he should have. But like I said, there is definitely an injustice, some sort of biasm going there, whether it be a political party, a media thing, or speaking out against her cops. Obviously it's. I think that once we file the appeal, I think hopefully that we may not beat this motion for a bail because it's got to go in front of her again. I don't think she's going to approve the bail after what she just did to him. That would be basically saying she made a mistake, and she's not going to admit
Never
that.
know. She might have humility, dude. She might realize that she was being emotional, and she may recognize that a lot of the people who signed the letters are actually Nevada citizens, and we're concerned about Chille because people who stand up and fight against the government are exactly the same people who wrought upon this great nation, the government that we have. The revolutionaries were exactly people who acted like Chille. So hopefully she'll think about that.
Basically, her ego's writing checks her body can't cash. Top Gun, baby, right there.
Look, man, I'm not going to get into that. Look,
yeah.
I haven't seen anything. I have not seen anything from her that would indicate any of that stuff. But I do believe that the decision was over the top.
I'm thinking he's going to win the appeal, though. I think he's going to win the appeal, and when he does, then we can go ahead and do a motion for another judicial misconduct complaint against Ann Zimmerman. And I think that's the way it's going to go down. That video we saw earlier today where that lawyer said he's going to win 0 appeal. I think he's got grounds to win the appeal.
Well, wait a minute. That was another channel. So here's the deal. Had a channel where he brought an appellate lawyer on. And what did he say exactly? Tell us what he said, because I don't even remember.
What he was saying was, he wasn't leaning a completely down the road, non-middle, middle of the road, non-biased. He was being a little biased, but he was also at the end thinking maybe there's a chance for an appeal. It's a possibility, but you need to get a real attorney. You got to get a real appeal attorney, not somebody who doesn't, work in other fields or has less. Basically, you need to find an appeals attorney and only does appeals, because a lot of appeals get shot down and things like that. But I think based on the evidence, things that happened in the courtroom, the evidence that wasn't allowed, just everything that went wrong. If you scrutinize every piece of this, and then on top of that, Michael Mee, who did not really, what I feel didn't do his job the way he probably should have presented. I feel they're gonna go ahead and I think he's got a good chance with the appeal based on what I'm seeing. But as far as in the fact of asking for bail and going right back in front of Zimmerman with everything that we've seen, I think it's a 0 chance. I think we're going to win in the appeals court, and then he'll have grounds to file the motion for a judicial misconduct complaint. And then that's just being realistic with everything that's going on, how everybody's supporting him, and I mean, look at the facts. I mean, look, that's what we have to look at. Is like Brian from Here's the Deal said, when on that video he scrutinized, you gotta look at the facts about, you know, him complying and all this other stuff. I think she was just completely biased, and I think that's what ultimately the appellate court's going to make the decision on.
So really quick, so somebody, Ant71 says someone slandering the judge. I don't know if he's referencing us, but me personally, I'm not slandering the judge. I know the judge has a hard job, and I know that if I met someone like Chille for the first time, I'd have a hard time too, because he's very convicted in his belief system. Others might consider him to be dogmatic, but I just want all of you guys to know that I know the judge has a hard time, and I've looked at the evidence that BZO has provided, and he's provided a lot of evidence here, even the letter. And so I wanted to get in really quick, BZ, with what you provided here, which is, it says here, based upon this letter here on the right, like, see what you sent me? You sent me, this is an exhibit to this motion that this person filed to have her disbarred, basically, or excommunicated from the court. And this person was upset because this person apparently, in a criminal matter, because we don't have all the documents, but from what I do have, and all the links are in the description. So I actually provided links so you can do your own research. If you're, you know, from CNN or whatever, or a detractor, you can take a look. But basically what I found from what you sent me, BZ, is that the plaintiff or victim, I just say plaintiff because I'm a plaintiff's attorney. That's what I do for a living. So it's just in my brain, that there was some kind of a warrant that was quashed by the judge, and the victim wanted to show up, and the victim was never notified. And the attorney for the victim apparently told the judge that he'd never told his client, but Judge Zimmerman went ahead and quashed the warrant, or got rid of the warrant, excommunicated the warrant anyways. And then later, after, you know, a couple of years or whatever, the victim made a judicial counsel complaint. And that's what this judicial discipline is about. And then
the one, Mike,
this is her answer, bro. This was Judge Zimmerman's answer. Go ahead, bro. Talk.
I think the letter that you provided right here, the one that talks about the letter, the December 20, the one basically where the time was up on the squash of the warrant.
You were saying there was a lot of back and forth that prevented the victim from really. Okay, yes. Got it. Yeah, yes. That's normal too. Because if you don't have a lawyer, the government's really good at like blowing out that clock so you can't get them. They're pros, exactly. Man. And they'll pretend like you're their best friend, just like the insurance company.
And that's what happened with her husband filing this motion to squash it because of remember I said a couple slides ago about the time. It's one of those lawyer tactics. You know, you delay.
Yeah.
It helps that either somebody gives up or time runs out.
So everybody, real quick, I don't want to cut you off, but I have to. So because I like to teach people about the law. It's called DDD, deny, delay, defend. Deny, delay, defend. That's what the insurance company does. That's what the Department of Veterans Affairs is professionally trained to do, because they don't like you. I mean, you're not going to vote for their candidate. Come on, you're a veteran. You're going to vote for the merit-based candidate, which is not theirs. Anyways, keep talking, brother.
So basically, that's basically what happened with this motion. The letter you guys saw on the last slide, and then this motion right here to after that stuff went on. This was the motion that was filed on that last previous one. That's what I was able to dig up in just a matter of 40 hours.
That's crazy. I haven't seen any other channels.
I have a lot more stuff.
Dude, this research that you did, like, honestly, like I have not. All I've seen is a bunch of people trash Chille, and then a bunch of other people show a bunch of videos. But you actually, like, to me, I would have probably had to pay somebody for 40 hours of research to do what you just did. And so I'm going to break this down for you as a lawyer really quick, guys, to get through this. So basically, Attorney Langford argued. Wait, Attorney Langford? Wait a minute. Isn't she married to Attorney? Wait.
Yeah, her legal actual name is Honorable Ann E. Zimmerman Langford, but she dropped the Langford because I'm sure it'd be a conflict.
Okay. So apparently her husband defends. I didn't even know this. Like, dude, this is blowing me away. She's wow. Okay, so her husband, I don't know if they were married at the time, but
They were.
Argued that more than 3 years had passed and that she had been honest with the investigator, that she didn't remember anything about trying a case without the presence of the victim. And again, I don't know if the victim was even entitled to be present. So as a lawyer, I can't really get into that. I'm not going to trash talk her because I'm not in a position to do that. But these other guys here on the channel with me, one of them was a citizen of Las Vegas at the time, apparently, that this went down. And then again, apparently the matter was dismissed. And then Aunt 71 says, you guys are idiots and you're slandering the judge. And again, that's not my purpose. My purpose isn't to slander anybody. I know how difficult it is to be in a position of leadership, and I've worked in the prosecutor's office as well as a normal criminal and civil law plaintiff's lawyer, and it's not easy. As a defense lawyer, or I can't even imagine what it would be like as a judge. In California, they have delay reduction, which forces judges to hear cases really quick, which is horrible. I mean, you want to be able to take the time and think about every person as if they were a family member. The problem is that's not what is happening. So let me get back to what he's got to say. Let's look at the slideshow.
I think in really slandering, I mean, I was called a 10-time convicted felon before we got in the chat earlier, which I think
I was going to say, like, what the heck I saw that, like, wow, dude.
That is slandering because there's no evidence to back that up. Okay. Now, when I give you my opinion and tell you what I think, it's based on stuff that I dug up that's actual state of Nevada documents you can find in open records. Hell, I found it on the internet. I mean, through the court documents, through the court's website. So, I mean, it's not like I went to some, troll website and found this stuff. I went to the state of Nevada's website and pulled all this stuff. A lot of it is free public access if you know where to look. Outside of that, there are some other documents you will have to pay for. So this is not slandering. It's just my opinion based on, and freedom of speech based on the facts that I have right here, because black and white camera photos, they don't lie. They're right there.
What do you think, Letso TVO? What do you have to say about this?
Well, I think it's sad that we have people in the chats. I understand that we're all entitled to our First Amendment rights, but to come in constantly defaming people, making comments that they can't substantiate just for the sensationalism of what's happening here. True, there's an individual that's sitting in jail currently right now for hopefully less than the 180 days that, in my opinion, had done absolutely nothing wrong with the exception of disrespecting the court. However,
well, that's kind of a big deal, man, to be honest. That is a big deal.
However, if you go back to the slave times and you are being whipped, and when I say whipped, when you are wrongfully arrested, you are put into a mindset that you have the thumb of injustice placed upon you. And then when you get to the courtroom and you have the bailiff trying to dictate exactly how you have to sit in the bench, which to me was kind of like a psychological operation to throw him off of his game. And then when it came time to get up to actually give his hearing and gets up there, the court actually took his cameras away, took everyone in the courtroom's camera away, with the exception of the district attorney and anybody there that was not supporting Chille. So there was a lot of little things that I never envisioned that those things happen, because most people just get to see is what they want you to see. And they make it difficult for you to actually be there sometimes with all the rigmarole you got to go through to actually sit in the courtroom.
You're right, man. Are you going to be there on Monday?
I'm making my flight arrangements right after this live that you're doing here.
Okay,
I just like people to grow up and really just start thinking about, this guy's not doing it for himself. Even though the judge has somehow been able to crawl into Chille's head and knows exactly what he's thinking, and all he did was answer her questions. Yeah, he hates pigs. That's the bulk of it. And his definition of a pig is somebody that doesn't honor their oath and wants to just be a follower. I'm not a follower. I march with people. There's a difference.
I appreciate that, everybody. So listen, everyone, I'm trying to cut down the videos to be under 60 minutes because that way I can throw them up on Meta and the other platforms before they ban me, so other people can hopefully see the channel and come and join us. So we've got a couple of minutes left, and the slideshow that BZWatchdog created for us is over. But what I wanted to do is sort of say to you that it looks like that particular complaint against her got thrown out because more than 3 years had passed. And what BZWatchdog is saying is basically the government sort of dragged it out, and this person wasn't represented, so she had no clue. Just like a lot of car accident cases I get where people are negotiating with the insurance adjuster and they think that the insurance adjuster is their friend. So there's another video on my channel, and I'm not trying to promote myself. You just look it up anywhere. Just type in "the insurance company's not your friend" on Google or anywhere. And just remember that the government's no different. I mean, these people who work for the government, for the most part, unless they think like us, they're really not your friend. Now, in defense of people who do work for the government, because I also have, when I went to visit Chile, there was one particular officer there. He was a little rotund, you could tell he's been out for a while. But you could tell he's a Marine, and immediately started interrogating me, like what unit were you with and all that. And I passed the litmus test. And I know that there are a lot of people that work in law enforcement who really love their country. And I also wanted to be a deputy sheriff myself. And most of my buddies work for the sheriff's department, in LA, and Marines, come on, Marines are, I think even the sheriff's department uses Marine Corps cadence. When I went to the Sheriff's Academy, it was all about the Marine Corps. I was super motivated. So don't just put us all in the same box. The issue is that I love my country and I love my people, and my people are Americans, whether they're black, brown, red, or green. And I don't consider, right? Roger that, guys. Hoorah!
America.
Hoorah!
Yeah. All right. Or hoo-yah to say. Okay. So really quick. I want to let you guys say goodbye, so I'm going to do my closing really quick. So everybody, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save. Make sure to record on your own computer, because you never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel with digital currency and what they're doing in Canada and what big tech helped communist China do, which is now being done in Canada. It's going to happen in California. And as they teach you in law school, as happens in California, so goes the nation. So as happens in Canada, so goes California. So as long as you have voting machines and vote by mail, and at least half the population, or maybe a little less than half population, not trusting elections, instead of calling them conspiracy theorists, maybe you should try to change things. Send the illegals home. Let Americans have their own country, which belongs to them by birth and by the fact that people like the three of us, we're willing to sacrifice our lives for it, and understand that we're going to be upset when you send up illegals to try to redistrict using the census, which we know is the real reason. That being said, both you guys, I want you to give me your closings, and then I'll go ahead and end the show while you're talking. So hurry up. You both have about 20 seconds each.
All right, real quick. The old saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, that's just been blown out of the water.
Go, BZO.
Hey guys, I'm gonna make this quick. My premiere is actually starting in about a minute and a half. It's my latest video of my audit at the post office with another auditor. It actually was not one of these boring ones this time. We actually had something happen, and I actually went back to do this audit to get one back for anonymous audits who got thrown out of there and detained in cuffs and everything else. and I got one back for us auditor community. So go over to BZ Watchdog. It premieres in a minute, 20 seconds. And with that, signing off. Hoorah.
Hoorah!
Hurrah!
Free Chille!
OTVO.